Okay, we're going to take a second crack at recording this. This is the second installment in the video series called Please Fix Thanks. This is where I use a CRT trading perspective to analyze basically big losses, big, spectacular, amazing losses that I've found kind of on the I don't even want to call it the day trading community. It's more like the influencers, the day trading influencers. They're streamers. They're people who trade live every single day, and they're oftentimes really, really successful traders, but maybe they're trading in market conditions where their particular system completely flops. And the very first trade in the series that I analyzed was TJR Trades trading. He was trading the NASDAQ, and his trade was, I believe it was October 22nd, 2025, and he had a almost $250,000 loss, $240,000 loss. And this next trade is within a week of that trade. This is AlexG. He's trading Forex, so he's trading the New Zealand dollar, US dollar currency pair, the NZD USD, and he takes what I think ends up being like an 800 lot short on the NZD USD. And it's kind of like with TJR, where his bias was correct. Like if you zoom out, his directionality that he was like looking for price to play out eventually was absolutely correct. But he got into a scalp. I think he was using a really tight stop loss. It was only 10 pips. Imagine risking $250,000 or almost $250,000 on 10 pips. My gosh. But anyways, he got stopped out. He was basically shorting inducement highs. So let's look at the aftermath really quick as just a little teaser. Okay, so here's here. Actually, I think he was up a little bit on the position at one point. Actually, it was more than 800 lots. It was two trades with 500 lots each. It was 1,000 lots, 1,000 lot currency lots, which are actually $100,000 of 100,000 currency units. Insane. So he he trades 100,000 currency units short, and then gets completely stopped out. Doesn't really matter the size, but we're going to learn about the size is what makes it like kind of fun and really piques my curiosity. And I can't judge him for sitting there with his shirt off. I'm sitting here with my shirt off because it's really hot in the summer. So yeah, so I'm gonna load up FX Replay, and actually before I go to FX Replay, let me do this. Let's watch his entry really quick, and maybe we can kind of hear his thinking.
The NZD USD. Let me turn this on. Screen recording. Okay. NZD.
I can see it, like what he's thinking about with the moving exponential moving average, and how we're essentially rejecting off of that, and if you ignore descending trendline liquidity on the hourly chart here, it does kind of seem to be like a market structure shift.
Stop
the problem is you need to zoom out. You need to zoom out.
57,591.
There's a higher drawn liquidity that he's not seeing in this analysis window.
Ready for that sell button?
So bad.
Jesus. Okay. Not the worst. Trade 57,591. So. Alright, beautiful. We just entered the position. Already decently in profit. The trade is moving very solid.
Okay, so you can't even really see his phone. But okay. Let's go to FX Replay now, and let's break down the trade entry, and let's see what he's missing. Please fix thanks. We will fix it for you, Alex. Don't worry. So here we go. Immediately what I see, and I've kind of trained my eyes to see this, is right there on the hourly chart, we've got descending trendline liquidity. It's funny, FX Replay is kind of like, it's almost like it knows what candles are going to come. It's like showing you, okay, this is going to be a loss. But anyways, I do see that descending trendline liquidity. That is an order block, right? A little skinny order block. It's not super satisfying. There is a turtle soup that's going on too, right? There are the ingredients. I mean, this was a sell side imbalance, right? A bearish fair value gap. It's got the ingredients. It's got the ingredients. Now, the problem, this is what makes it a pattern trade, is let's zoom out. Let's zoom out. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. Do you see this on the 4-hour chart? So consecutive fair value gaps. This is a fair value gap. This is a fair value gap. I'm guessing if we go to the Australian dollar or if we go to the euro, it'll show the same thing. Basically, I think it's funny. It was only 2025, but a lot's happened since then. Please forgive my memory. I've got small children. But this was a Trump tariff announcement, and crypto got wrecked. And I remember that from just I didn't even have to look at a chart to remember that at some point in early October there was a tariff announcement that just absolutely wrecked crypto. It was a little bit risk off in terms of the things like the Nasdaq. It affected trades like TJR trades with his short-term Nasdaq scalping. So anyways, here's what I see. This is an order block. And price hasn't reached it yet. And that's a bottomless candle. And we just zoomed right past it. I'd love to trade up into that bottomless candle if we could. Here's the other thing. This is a superior order block. This is a 4-hour swing high, right? It's an up close candle, and it's immediately preceded by a bearish fair value gap. So if you want to play around with something like a weekly candle range trade of perhaps this weekly high, right? You have a hard time, like just visually looking at it. You're like, okay, it looks good. We've cleared the high, right? But you got to like drill down a little bit. And the other thing I love is that order block that I've identified on the 4-hour time frame. That's also pretty close to the consequent encroachment of this up close candle. In other words, there's essentially a potential bearish breaker happening here, or a bearish a bearish weekly order block, we'll call it, right? A bearish weekly order block. So yeah, let's go back to the 4-hour chart. So that's my base kind of like case where we're going to form low resistance, rising trend line liquidity along this trend line, and then we're eventually going to trade up into this order block before we dump. And if you're looking for a bearish turtle soup entry within this range, then it'll have to be above this swing high. That's essentially that's like what my analysis is showing me. This is the high of the candle that broke the low. So this important swing low here, this is the high that broke the low. And so it might be one of those things where to move lower, to continue in the bearish direction, to tap into this drawn liquidity the way that AlexG would like when he's going short. He shorts this inducement high here. You need to let the market makers take out this swing high and trade up into this order block before you look for the reversal. It's gonna be one of these. We grind higher, we grind higher, we grind higher. This takes, it's kind of a slow motion bullish turtle soup of this low, so a bullish turtle soup, we trade down below an old low, and then we trade back up into it, back up into these candles. that's where we're looking for. And then the time frame that really fits this analysis, I think, is the daily chart. So, or it might even be, no, yeah, it's definitely the daily time frame. In other words, like we close below this low, or maybe, yeah, this low. And then the idea is if we're going to test this high, or at least like the wick, then we're going to need so many candles to like reverse, right? So we'll need, if this is candle number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? And then reverse. Okay, well that could work, but this isn't really a fair value gap, right? So again, that's what distinguishes. That's what makes this an inducement trade rather than a bullish turtle soup opportunity. Is kind of this awkwardness here. It's much more apparent on the lower time frames, in my opinion. But not a bad looking trade overall. I've actually seen a lot of successful turtle soups look like this, keeping in mind that this would actually be a fair value gap. In other words, like the low, this very long candle wick here, if price only made it to there and made it more symmetrical, or there's more symmetry between the actual length of the upper and lower wicks, then we're starting to see a lot more potential with this. But to me, there's a candle range happening, and the candle range is from this high to this low, and we're going to need to like take out the majority of the range to ensure efficient market making before we move lower. So let's just see how it plays out. Go back to the hourly chart because that's the time frame that AlexG is on. We could even be looking for like bullish price action too. So like as far as bullish price action goes, I kind of just got excited a little bit there because look at that bottomless candle. This on the 2 hour, or is it the 4 hour? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. So we're right in that sweet spot there for a bullish fair value gap turtle soup. See what happens. So at that point, he's probably up a lot. So there's your we're on the 4 hour chart. There's your Romeo order block, your 4 hour order block that we just traded into. Watch the wick. So it almost hits his stop loss. Oh, he could have mitigated. He's got a lot of conviction though. He's probably thinking like, oh, it's gonna roll over now. Oh, so immediately takes him out. And here's the thing, that's still inefficient. Was that news? Let's see if that was news. Yeah, that was news. So you've got data wick highs now. You've got data wick highs, and now we could really look for perhaps that low to be taken out or not, or they could just leave it and then trade up higher beyond it. At this point, we've reached the screenshot. The week just closed. Look at the gap up. We'll probably like trade back down into this candle body, then trade up into this order block. I'm making sure that I'm on FX replay. Good, I'm on FX replay. Perfect. This video is going a lot better than normal. We're going to do a bearish turtle soup. We want a bearish turtle soup of that swing high of I'll draw the line. This swing high. We want a bearish turtle soup. Still feels like inducement. Oh, let's trade up into the order block. Okay, remind me to never trade New Zealand dollar. It's so choppy. Okay, alrighty, boom. So that's enough for me to then start to look for short entries, right? Because there's a 15-minute order block. Depends on where that closes. Look at that close. Okay, let's trade. Maybe try to trade back up into it. Okay, almost. Okay, good. So I could get short here now. I'm going to get short here and target that low, and we'll see how it goes. So because I agree with AlexG. I agree that we had bad tariff news in early October. I think that on the higher time frame, we are indeed incredibly bearish, right? And we're looking for bearish continuation, and it's New Zealand dollar, so it's, even though it's a forex major, it doesn't have a lot of volume. And so yeah, I'm actually going to get short right here. And for me, this is going to be like a weekly CRT, or like kind of a 2-week CRT, where it's like these 2 weeks together. And then basically by November, I'm looking to like hit these at some point in November. I'm looking to hit these lows. So ratio, looking at the ratio. So if the whole setup took, let me just use my range tool. If the whole setup took 11 bars, we'll round that up to 12. Then the payoff is going to take 3 to 4. Or we'll call it 3 to 5. Okay, so I would expect, if I were a swing trader, my mic just died. There it goes. I would expect to dump into the draw on liquidity, and let's see if that's a 1 hour. Any 1 hour fair value gaps? There is a 1 hour fair value gap. Beautiful. There isn't like a swing high necessarily with like that's an up close candle. That's a swing high. No 2 hour yet. Though you could say, well, what is the candle that finally broke the? Yeah, we're doing good because we closed below that. Well, that's still the swing high candle. But anyways, we're doing great. So let's get short here. We might trade it back up into this. I'm going to use a 3-to-1 risk to reward. We'll use dynamic risk management just for fun. Oh, so I actually need to use my oops. I'm going to use the good old risk to reward profile. Draw on liquidity. I mean, trading up much above this breaker is going to be invalidation, right? So like right there, above this swing high, like give it a nice generous like bit. We might have some drawdown. This is really aggressive, right? Because we're basically trading the doji candle. Like this is a weekly doji candle, right? So we're essentially like peak manipulation right now. So, and a daily of that turtle soup of that CRT. We're trading that daily. It's funny that this big doji daily candle with a close below and only one close above, we could dump today, and that would feel pretty good, right? That would kind of be a daily CRT of this very large range. That would feel very good. So we'll put our stop loss there. We'll put our take profit there. We're ending up with 4 to 1, which is great. So let's put our stop loss up at 51813, or sorry, 5813. $26 pips. Take profit. We'll do the partials. I learned from last time how to do this properly. Final take profit 0.5682. Temporary take profit is or not temporary. The halfway is 5736. I'm not being like super precise. Beautiful. So there's my trade frame, everybody. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, so I obviously had a really aggressive entry there. We'll go to the lower time frames. So yeah, you know, it wasn't giving me like a perfect 15-minute model number one. This down close trade up into that. Yeah, so what are we looking for? 5-minute? Let's see. No, it's a very odd top too. Though, I mean, yeah, wow. This top looks pretty inefficient. But I mean, it's still like a great, I mean, we're basically continuing trade up into that. There we go. That's a beautiful entry right there, actually. To trade, and then maybe take out that topless candle up there, that candle with no upper wick. Maybe not though. We just took partials, move stop loss to break even. We're gonna rip through this old, this old, the original bullish breaker, or the original bullish order block that like got us here as we were grinding higher. Don't expect a lot from that. Like, don't expect a lot of response from that. Like we usually when they're a part of rising trendline liquidity like these are, they get taken out so quickly. It's like dominoes falling, and where the dominoes are the sell side liquidity, the sell stops. There's a little hesitation before we hit our key level or hit our final take profit. Okay, awesome. So let's look at the ratio here and make sure that the ratios are correct. Yeah, so that was my original, like, I can't remember what it was, like 4 days I had it. So like a 11 or 12 day setup for a 4-day payoff. That's a 3-to-1, what would it be? So essentially a 4-to-1 in terms of like, overall being a 16 candle waveform, but really classic. It's very classic in terms of the timing element of setup and payoff. So yeah, hopefully we've fixed this nearly $250,000 loss from TJR, from one guy without his shirt on sitting in his computer to another. I have nothing but respect for TJR. I mean, I don't have trading as a full-time job. He has trading as a full-time job. So like, he's on another level than me. But we can all learn from each other's mistakes. We can all see, errors where, one trader might get induced. Another trader might be able to see it and sit out, or at least trade a kiss of death long and then trade another entry short. So yeah, that's it for this video. I'll go back to my PowerPoint really quick. Oh yeah, actually, let's do this. Let's just watch some reaction to his
We were really nicely into
He's
profit.
laughing
I
too.
thought price is going to come back, retest this neckline, the head and shoulders, and sell. Even retest higher and sell. Fuck, man. We're a little bit in drawdown right now. We are currently in about $132,000 in drawdown on NZD USD.
Yeah.
So we're definitely in a loss. We have not lost just yet. But I want to see how this daily time frame closes to see how this move actually moves. So this move right here is going to be based off of, I guess, the fundamentals that are going to give it a little bit of a push. So we have, I have to show this right now.
Gosh.
Look at how close.
Yeah, see, I don't even have a Porsche, nor do I have a Porsche.
This is why I recommend the brokers that I recommend. Look at how close price got to our stop
loss. Oh my gosh! So he's showing us it went one pip away from his.
We're gonna
use
loss. Just this.
It's good content.
This sticky note right here.
Look at it. The most replayed.
Fuck, man. Fuck, man.
Sorry if you got kids around.
Fucking bullshit that I'm talking about, bro.
A string of expletives. I don't blame him.
We lost
Inducement
$223,000 on this position right here, as you guys can see.
To see price action like move back into the mitigation.
Bullshit, man.
I mean, you
know what's even funnier? This trade literally
almost
took us out by stop loss, right? By a pip,
okay, I'm
right?
talking
and
over
if
all right, that's enough.